Just when you think we're done getting news and updates about Avengers Doomsday, they really said, Doom! You were looking for this? He go foam up for you. Because we just got a whole lot of insane news about Avengers Doomsday that's really gonna shock you. I'm talking more cast members confirmed, another Chairs Day announcement, some crazy story details that reveal what Dr. Doom's motivations are really gonna be, all the teams that are gonna be involved in this movie, and so much more. And you know me, if I get a little bit of crumbs, I'm gonna make a 5-star meal. But either way, me and you know what we gotta do. We gotta talk about it. First things first, rest in peace, Uncle Phil, always. But for real, all of this news comes to us courtesy of Alex Perez of the Cosmic Circus, who is a very reliable and honorable industry insider. But during his August Q&A, he revealed some very, very interesting details about Avengers Doomsday. And one of the biggest things he revealed is what Doom's role is going to be in Doomsday. And it's being stated that Robert Downey Jr.'s Dr. Doom is going to be the hero, quote unquote, of Avengers Doomsday. Or the main protagonist slash antagonist, similar to how Thanos was the main character slash hero of his story in Infinity War. And I feel like that was kind of obvious when you call the movie Doomsday. I feel like the movie has to be about Doom. And trust me, they're going to need an entire movie to explain why he looks like Robert Downey Jr., Tony Stark. And this is legit something that I've been speculating and theorizing since the moment we got Robert Downey Jr. confirmed as Dr. Doom. I'm talking even before the Russo brothers confirmed that Iron Man's death in Avengers Endgame was going to play a key factor in the Doom story. There's a reason, there's a specific reason that they got Robert Downey Jr., who looks like Tony Stark, to play Dr. Doom. I feel like it's painfully obvious because as much as Tony Stark is a hero, and yes, he's mainly a hero, I know he is, but he's done just as much harm cleaning up his own messes. All because what? He wanted to save the world with a suit of armor around it. And I think Doom is going to have that same type of motivation, only not just a Doombot around the world. He's going to want a Doombot around the universe. Nah, a Doombot around the multiverse, his own battle world. Because Doom is a narcissist and he sees himself as the hero in his story every single time. And he is kind of honorable most of the time. Petty as fuck, but honorable. And I'll get into the theory of how I think it gets into power in a second. And also Thanos, we ain't done with you because we know you're inevitable. But Alex Perez also revealed some very interesting details about Avengers Doomsday and the teams that are going to be involved. It was already confirmed that Tom Hiddleston was going to be reprising his role as Loki in Avengers Doomsday. And apparently he's going to be getting his own team and he's going to need one because he's stuck in a damn chair. This plays into my theory, but I feel like the MCU is going to have Loki be the Beyonder since he's the one that's holding the multiverse together at the Tree of Yggdrasil. And I think he's going to have a team that is protecting him there and keeping Doom from getting there. And the roster that I think is a part of Loki's team is obviously everyone at the TVA like Mobius and Hunter B-15, but I also think we're going to get some of those variants that are tight with the TVA like Deadpool and Wolverine. Maybe the rest of the crew that was exiled in Deadpool Wolverine like Blade, Elektra, Gambit, and X-23. And I also think that Thor himself is going to be a member of that team because he's going to want to keep his brothers safe and let the sun shine on them again. And I think this is the team where we're going to find out why Thor was crying. But the rest of the teams that are involved in Avengers Doomsday is Sam Wilson's Avengers, the Thunderbolts aka the New Avengers, the Fantastic Four, Loki's team that I just mentioned, Fox X-Men, and then Doom's going to have his own little team. And all I got to say is I called it. What did I say about Doom's team? As a matter of fact, what have I been saying about Doom in general? He's going to manipulate this entire situation, and that's why he looks like Tony Stark, to get people on his side to manipulate the situation so he comes out on top, so he can have one world under Doom. And like I've been theorizing for months, I think he's going to create his own multiversal version of the Cabal, and he's going to convince other people that are in the gray area or on borderline between being a hero and a villain like Namor, Magneto, on his side. Shit, he might even get Sylvie on his side. Yes, I do think Sylvie is in this movie. But that's where I think Thanos comes in. Especially after what Josh Brolin said. I think we're definitely going to get another variant of Thanos. And he's going to join Doom's cause. But once Doom comes into power, I think Thanos is going to try to step to the big dog. And that's when we're going to get the recreation of you-know-what. But outside of that, all of these other teams are very interesting because they're all fighting with each other. We're going to have another mini civil war in this movie. And we're also going to have an Avengers versus X-Men. Because thanks to Alan Cumming, we already know that the X-Men are going to be fighting the Fantastic Four. Which is probably due to the fact that Doom kidnaps Franklin and takes him across the multiverse. So the Fantastic Four's first stop is probably the X-Men universe that Monica Rambeau is trapped in, which I think is going to be the X-Men universe where we see all the OG X-Men that were announced on Chairs Day. Which leads me to the next thing Alex Perez reported, and that's that Monica Rambeau herself is going to have a big role in Avengers Doomsday. And Thor himself is set to have a large role as well. And this just makes a whole lot of sense because Monica is displaced. There's probably going to be an incursion level event that happens between that Fox X-Men universe and R616 or Earth 19999 universe. And she's going to be able to be the mediator between those two teams and bring them together. And speaking of that X-Men universe and all the mutants involved there, it looks like they're finally going to be getting some comic accurate suits, and all I gotta say is I used to pray for times like this. But according to Alex Perez, it's gonna be a mix between X-Men 97's costumes and the astonishing X-Men suits. Regardless, I can't wait, bro. Oh my god, can you imagine James Marsden in his classic Cyclops suit? Oh, Give me more blue. Give me more yellow. I need it. I want it. We need it. And shout out to Alan coming again, because yesterday he revealed some photos of what Nightcrawler is probably going to look like. Even though this is fan art, I can almost assume he's going to look just like this. But moving on to some other characters that we know are going to be a part of this movie, because the trades reported it that Alex Perez also elaborated on their roles. Haley Atwell will be reprising her role as Peggy Carter in Avengers Doomsday, which was reported all the way back in December by Deadline. And another one of the worst kept secrets in the world is that Chris Evans is going to be reprising his role in Doomsday as well. But I feel like they're both going to be playing different variants of themselves. You can bet your bottom dollar that this version of Peggy and Steve are going to return. And they're finally going to explain why Steve Rogers didn't get fucking picked up by the TVA and pruned. Because just like Deadpool and Wolverine, they have a use and purpose for him. But I also feel like we could see old man Steve Rogers reprising his role in Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars. Most likely Secret Wars, because he was in Hickman's run. And I feel like we're also going to get an evil version of Cap. So you can bet we're going to get a Hydra Cap moment. And we might even get another Captain America versus Captain America moment again. And yeah, I think that means we're probably going to see Peggy Carter return as Captain Carter. And thankfully, this version of Captain Carter, listen, anytime it's Haley Atwell, I ain't gonna be mad at it. If it's the animated version, I'm out. But Alex Perez was also asked about another Chairs Day announcement that could potentially be coming sometime later this month, where it was rumored, but he said he could see it coming out maybe sometime later this year, like November, December. But he also kind of teased some other characters we could be seeing in this film. Like obviously Peter Parker, Doctor Strange, Clea, Monica Rambeau will probably get officially announced, Bruce Banner, Tatiana Maslany, who plays She-Hulk, Kate Bishop, Kamala Khan, Cassie Lang, Hope Van Dyne, Okoye, Team Loki, Deadpool, Wolverine, etc. I'm gonna stop you right there at Tatiana Maslany returning as She-Hulk, because I kind of need that more than I need air. Just so we can get a moment where Deadpool and She-Hulk both break the fourth wall and they start fighting over who does it better. I personally think that'd be a funny little gag. And this next one comes from Xochitl Gomez herself. She kind of teased her return as America Chavez in Doomsday, and honestly, I feel like she probably should play a role. Like, she can travel through dimensions and universes. Let her use her power. But one character that was confirmed by Alex Perez will not appear in Avengers Doomsday is Molecule Man, which is kind of a bummer because he plays a huge role in the Secret War storyline from Hickman. But like I've been saying, he's got plenty of options to replace Molecule Man with in the MCU. Like case in point, Franklin Richards off rip. He got like the most powerful being he could have off ripski. But with Loki being like the ultimate end game and the MacGuffin of this movie, most likely that's what I'm speculating and theorizing. I think he's also going to have the help of Sentry / Voice / the Bob, who can take some of that Molecule Man role for Doom, since he can manipulate molecules to a certain extent. Also, he's very unstable, so he could be another one of the people that convinces himself to join Doom's cause. I could definitely see a scene where Doom, kind of like Norman Osborn in the Dark Avengers run, tries to relate to Bob and Sentry / the Void, and they come to terms. And it's gonna hurt like a bitch because I love Bob, we love Bob. And I mean, if you were to ask Anthony Mackie, it looks like he already knows what the third act is gonna be. It's gonna be a cliffhanger regardless. He said no one is safe, everyone is expendable. And you know what? I believe him. And it should end on a fucking cliffhanger, just like Infinity War, because we're gonna go into Secret Wars. Cause mind you, how you gonna have a movie called Doomsday and expect Doom to lose? Most of you should know what I'm about to mention next and why Thanos returning in Secret Wars, mainly Secret Wars, not Doomsday, could make a whole lot of sense. Just so they could recreate this panel of Thanos getting packed up by God Emperor Doom. And this was a key moment in Secret Wars because, I mean, outside of some exposition and him, coming to power as God Emperor Doom, we didn't really saw how powerful he was. So this was the moment there, like, Thanos came, tried to big dog him, and he said, all right, give me a fucking skeleton. What are we talking about? It's such a hard panel that you already have artists like working on it for the MCU, and someone animated this entire scene themselves. I actually reacted to this in the past. I should probably edit that video. And yeah, it would be cool to see that. It would be cool to see that. But my brother in Christ, how many times are we gonna kill Thanos? This man has died more times than Kenny from South Park. They packed him up in Endgame twice. 2 times. He got split in half in What If. Motherfucker got stabbed by his own knife in Multiverse of What? Why? He's become the stepping stone to show just how powerful these other characters are. Now, me personally, how I would establish Doom to be an all-powerful being would be in Doomsday. Have him pack up the Council of Kangs. I don't care if they look like Jonathan Majors or not. Could you imagine him pulling up to the council and just packing them up left, right, up, down, taking his power and destroying the TVA or using it to his advantage? Because like I've been theorizing for months, I think it's going to be a race to Loki's throne. And having Kang's technology at his disposal is actually fucking genius on a couple of different fronts. Because obviously it would explain like how he's able to jump from place to place. But mind you, the TVA was built by He Who Remains, who is Nathaniel Richards, who is related to Reed Richards. It would be the most petty thing to do too. But the hardest choices require the strongest will. But either way, that's all the new news and updates we got about Avengers Doomsday. Let me know what you think about my thoughts, theories, and opinions down in the comments below. And as always, like and follow for more.